Beautiful day, isn't it? It was always going to get done, y'all. No team in their right mind is eating $40 million of dead cap to watch a second year or a MVP runner up at the most important position in all of sports walk out the door with nothing more than a third round comp pick to show for it. Different setting today, as you guys can clearly see. I hope y'all can hear me all right, but the mountains, the Rocky Mountains of Idaho, are treating me pretty well here on this beautiful Sunday morning. Texas just beat the brakes off of Michigan last night, once again, as predicted. Life looks pretty good right now, but there's some questions that I'm getting, and we're gonna have visuals and things like that. I'll still have those. I won't have my sound drops and the Joker laugh or any of the other fun bells and whistles. But we got a computer, we have a camera, and we have audio. Y'all make sure, before I get too deep into this, make sure y'all can hear me okay. Can y'all hear me? So real quick, man, let's talk about just the financials, okay? So 2024 can't be excluded from this the financial equation. So he was on the books for $40 million this year. So if you take the 4-year, $240 million extension, of which I think 231 was guaranteed. Somebody let me know there's a lot of things going on right now. I got both my daughters here with me on vacation, so let me know. I want to see all the details of the money. The total guarantees are really what's most important financially speaking for the team and the way that they can structure the cap moving forward, the void years and all that. But it's important to consider 4 years, $240 million on top of the one that he was already due this year. So it's the extension on top of 2024, right? So it's really a 5-year, $280 million financial situation, which if you do the math, 280 divided by 5, let me make sure I'm not crazy here. 280 divided by 5. $56 million APY, which is exactly what the market would indicate that he was due. The recent highest paid quarterback contract APY was $55 million. And the one right before that was, I think there's 3 guys at 55 right now, actually. So there we go. So from D, and I got the sun behind me. I want y'all to see the backdrop so you don't have to stare at a brown house. So it's a little bit difficult to see the chat, but I'm going to do the best I can to catch up and stay on top of what you guys are saying here. And we're not going to be here too long. I just want to kind of get in, get out. And, I had, let me show y'all what I was getting ready to do. I was actually already on the porch out here setting everything up to do this one. But, this is obviously a little bit bigger of a deal right now. More people care about this than they care to listen to me talk about the preview. We'll let today's preview play itself out. In the hands of the new $280 million man this afternoon with Tom Brady on the call. By the way, that's going to be a fun one. I've got plenty of thoughts. Maybe I'll come back. I'm going to take my daughter to the park today. It's our last day here. So beautiful weather. It's like, high 60s, low 70s. I want to take her, go to the park a little bit today, but we'll see what happens when we come back. Got a little bit of time, free time. I'll pop on here and we'll cover that preview. We'd love to do that. But I'm getting the question, and let me pull this up for y'all, get this going. Why would a guy who's won, 2 playoff games deserve to be the highest paid quarterback or the highest paid player in NFL history? There's a couple things to consider here, okay? And this is one of them. Just send myself everything that I feel like is going to be useful ammunition for these types of discussions. So Here is it in its simplest form of why that is, okay? The market dictates the price, not anything else, which is what I just discussed, the 56 APY, why that's relevant. Okay, I hope y'all understand that by now. If you don't, then you're in the right place, okay? 12 other quarterbacks prior to this morning made more money, APY, than Dak Prescott, but only 3 of them had more playoff wins. 3. Patrick Mahomes at 15, Joe Burrow at 5, Jared Goff with 4. So are all the other, Jalen Hurts only has 2 as well, by the way. Are all the other 8, 9, 10 guys that are paid more well compensated than Dak Prescott, are they deserving to be the highest paid player in NFL history at the time of their contract extension when they put pen to paper? You guys tell me. This is business. It's not about what you think or what, your opinions based on somebody on television who's literally paid to polarize you. Those guys don't care about the truth. They're not telling you, they're not digging beneath the surface and getting below and down to the nitty gritty and telling you the truth about what's going on. The truth is, you just had a quarterback in year 1 of a brand new system. You're not supposed to have the level of success that they had. The number 1 offense in football a year ago, matching up today against the number 1 defense in the Browns. So we're gonna see a lot of. There's going to be a lot of questions that are answered tonight, potentially, or this afternoon. But this is just the business. It's the nature of the league. It's the way that it works, man. You got to have stability at the most important position, and if you don't have much. So that's just why it's important to consider like every angle from this. Right? There's a ton of different angles, a ton of different ways to go, but you have to take a step back, grab your coffee, and just take a deep breath and really try to process what's going on here. Okay, the Cowboys, I feel like I was telling y'all, look, let me just go ahead and run this because this speaks volumes, I think. Where we at? And shout out to my wife for being the trooper that she is, man. Going above and beyond to make sure that I'm staying on top of everything when I need to, even despite all the travel that we've been the adventures that we've been taking lately. Life has been busy, life in the fast lane, but she's been holding it down, and this is one of the things, here it is right here. She took this video for me. It simplified my process when CD contract news broke. It's made it a lot quicker. I didn't have to do
Dak's
anything
deal
from
is
scratch.
almost
She
done.
got it raw.
And the reason I know that is actually pretty simple, okay? It's one part connecting some dots, and it's another part common sense. Touched on that a little bit right here.
Why does that get paid too?
Because I would imagine that before CeeDee Lamb agrees to any sort of contract extension to stay in Dallas, he would like to know who's going to be throwing him the football for the next 4 years.
Stop letting Jerry Jones fool you and manipulate you when it comes to things like this.
Stop letting Jerry Jones manipulate you. There's so much misinformation all across the mainstream media webs right now that you are losing your minds over nothing. Great work done and making real progress. I don't think we're losing a step with where we are now. And then the clip in the headline is getting taken way out of context.
Saying there's a sense of urgency as you begin the preseason to get CeeDee done? No.
And then just a lot more senseless jargon to sort of downplay his sorry attempt at negotiation leverage, I guess.
I want to say that. I'm just,
Stumbling all over his words.
I went to high school, or I went to college. I don't know why I said it, but I'm just saying I don't know. I don't have a sense of urgency about getting it done.
Right, he can say whatever he wants about this contract limiting the pieces around Dak.
Master
His
salesman.
old school method that he still subscribes to of public pandering to gain some sort of contractual negotiation leverage, it doesn't work anymore because of modern sports media and platforms like this one, where people come to learn the truth about what's actually happening. No franchise in their right mind, not even one like Dallas, is widely regarded as the most inept in a lot of cases.
Anyway.
Okay, lets a guy of Dak Prescott's caliber, the most important position in all of sports, one of the best in the world at that position, hit the free agent market without getting any sort of compensation in exchange for his services. It should not ever happen, and it's not going to happen in this instance either, especially not when they'd have to eat $40 million of dead cap if he walks next year. Mr. Sturm here, he gets it. So if you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. But just know that the deal's coming. Do me a favor though, tell a friend where they can find the best short-form Cowboys content on the market. Okay, right here at the Lando Show. Remember, prayer changes things, and the war is already won. Talk to you soon.
In the meantime, just remember, quarterback purgatory is always lurking. It's only one dumb decision away.
QB purgatory is always lurking, y'all. It's always lurking. And that's the thing I told y'all. The Joneses are much more afraid, especially Jerry Jones at 82 years old, of another vicious cycle of quarterback purgatory. Much more afraid of that than any sort of price tag that it would potentially cost to keep Dak Prescott around. Okay? The Walter Payton Man of the Year, the MVP caliber candidate, multiple years now, probably going to win it this year if he stays healthy. I mean, the ultimate team sport, yes, but that's the first and foremost position that you got to have covered. Otherwise, you don't have a football team. You really don't. Yeah, you know, you can pitch the argument that you can build pieces around, like, you know, with, you know, spend top of the market money on various other positions, but that's just too many moving parts, man. It's very difficult to replicate. Clearly, just look around. Like I just told you guys at the very beginning of the show, 17, I guess there's probably 15 teams right now that have quarterbacks on max caliber extensions. Okay, 15 teams all agree that you got to have that position solidified first, and it's really probably 32. But 15 that actually have it done, set in stone right now, that cannot be debated. And all these people arguing and advocating for, oh, dude, just go the Brock Purdy route, draft one, and then build around him, spend money at every other position. Okay, watch. Tell me what's going to happen here, or how that argument changes. If you still feel the same way when Purdy is now making $57 million APY as of maybe this time next year, when he's due for his contract extension. That narrative goes right down the drain. This isn't your father's football, y'all. By the way, Bill Belichick just comped. If you haven't seen his show, check that out. You can learn a lot right there, and that's a unbiased, completely unbiased. I try to remain that, but you know, I got a star on my head right now, so you guys obviously, you can't say that it's completely objective. I get it. It's fine. But the best coach in NFL history, undoubtedly, if he's not, he's on the Rushmore, compares Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb's chemistry and their tandem, their duo, to none other than Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Yes, he was bridging or drawing the parallel from the West Coast offense, but he didn't stutter when he said that. So, a couple questions. Let's get over here to the chat. I told y'all I would try to keep tabs on it. And I appreciate y'all being here on this beautiful Sunday morning, man. Once again, what a day. This is amazing. These are behind me. The backdrop is the Idaho Rocky Mountains. I've been in town, or in here, since Wednesday. My wife's cousin got married yesterday in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So I've been seeing parts of the country that I've never seen. Went to Yellowstone. Unbelievable. My daughter came 5 feet from a buffalo, which is like that's a core memory for her. It's been a fantastic trip, but Texas took care of business yesterday. The Cowboys took care of business this morning, and let's hope they can follow suit and do it again this afternoon. You think the Cowboys can sign Micah after this year? Absolutely. I don't think that they will. I know that they will. TJ's in the house, says preach. What's up, brother? Dude, you would love this place. I wish you were here with us, man. I really do. How about them Chiefs? Dominic says, you called it, brother. Hey, man, like I said, just connecting the dots. It doesn't have to be complicated. It really doesn't. I'm not. Actually, it's funny. I had the Nostradamus video or the little GIF on Twitter. I was just taking a little victory lap, but it's not difficult. If you just take the time, do a little bit of extra due diligence, research, dig a little bit deeper below the surface, right? Or just listen to people like me. You guys can figure this stuff out too. Jerry acting like they can't. Yeah. So, like, once again, it's a comedy show. If you didn't see the beginning, I played a clip just a few minutes ago. He tried to play the game with CD, and we called him out on that one. He tried to play the game with Dak. We called him out on that one. Oh, that reminds me. Before we get out of here, I want to make sure that we retouch on this. The Diana Rossini report that came out a few days ago. That's when I knew this was almost done. And you say what you want. Y'all can be like, okay, you're full of it, whatever. That doesn't tell you anything. That's fine. That's agree to disagree. I'll digress there. Actually, hold on. That's not showing up, is it? Let me put this screen share back up. Who do y'all got today? Or I'm sorry, in the Monday night game. Vegas has the line at Niners -4 over the Jets. I was just curious, like, what's the pulse on that situation? Because I feel like the Jets ain't a team to be playing around with, man. That's to me, with a healthy Aaron Rodgers, they're the North Star alongside teams like the Chiefs, maybe the Ravens in the AFC. That team's going to be a problem, man. They won 7 games last year with the worst quarterback play that I can ever recall seeing. That defense is for real. What was I doing here? Oh, Diana Rossini. Okay, here we go. Can y'all read that? Can y'all see this? I know a lot of people are driving while listening, and you guys will probably play this back and be driving tomorrow morning on your way to work, your commute. So I apologize for that, but I'm gonna read it to you anyway. The Cowboys' Diana Rossini contract leak is so goofy to me. And if you're not familiar with what she said, she essentially said that, like, the punchline of her report was and it was actually not even a written report. It was a verbal quote on their podcast, the Athletics podcast Scoop City, with her and Chase Daniel. She basically said it's not the money, it's the years relative to the holdout or the dispute that was keeping this standoff still alive between the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, right? So in other words, she was saying that they had sort of agreed upon the guarantees and the APYs, but it was the amount of years that they were keeping him around that was the holdup. And to me, I smelled, it smelled like fraud. Not that Diana was... She can only report what she's told, okay? But what I'm saying is Jerry Jones's snake oil can be smelled from a mile away. If you're me personally, I was like, that's not how business works in this league, right? Players want shorter contracts. Players of Dak Prescott's caliber, I should say. Top of the market players, right? They want shorter contracts so that they can get back to the negotiation table to get a larger slice of the ever-growing salary cap pie because of the value of the league. It's ever increasing. So quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, like that was a rare thing for him to say, hey, I love this city. I want to be here. You guys have taken care of me. I know I'm confident in my abilities, in my game. I'm just going to ink this long-term deal. Screw it. I'm not going to have to worry about money. I don't want to be distracted by contract negotiations. Well played on Pat's part. He did things a little bit differently, okay? But he is also the unicorn in this situation. We don't compare any other quarterback to that guy. He is the exception, right? So what players want is to get back to the negotiating table sooner. 2-year contract extensions don't really ever happen unless you're like a aged veteran. But 3-year deals are way more popular now than they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It was all about 5, 6, 7, 8-year deals then. Like Tyron Smith, for example. This will be a popular one for the Cowboys. He signed a 10-year deal, I believe. So he was playing on, like, relative to his talent, he was on a massive discount because the market is ever increasing, right? So players want to get shorter contracts to get back to the negotiating table sooner, to get more money. So, like, if Dak would have taken a 3-year deal instead of a 4-year extension, he would be negotiating 1 year sooner for $70 million APY. Does that make sense? So it made no sense for Jerry Jones to leak to Diana or whoever leaked this report to her to say that it was the Cowboys who wanted shorter money or shorter years. It's almost always the player that does that. So that in my head, I was like, I know how the organization feels about Dak. And it's very different from the way that it seems like half the fan base feels, okay? But the people that are really paying attention, that are really dialed in, that are watching the film, that are listening to other people who are way more experienced, have way more knowledge of this game and this league than I do, people like Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Bill Belichick, countless others, legitimate skins on the wall in this league, telling you how special of a player that you have in this guy. And yes, I know the playoff performance last year, hard to forget. Tough pill to swallow whenever you're thinking about stomaching 60 mil APY for the next 4 years, right? It's really 56, but it's 60, just for the sake of simplicity. So, I hope I've made that clear enough. Let me get back to the chat so I can answer some more of y'all's questions. 20 people up in here right now. Y'all hit that like button for me if you can. That's the best way to help me out. And I do appreciate that. Congrats, Dak. Now it's time to shine, Cowboys. Yeah, so, hey, what better way to go and verify and validate your financial situation to the fan base, to whatever members of the fan base or media or otherwise that are still skeptical, right? Go put 30 or just go beat the number one defense in the league from a year ago on the road in week 1. That'll go a long way towards, I guess, bridging the two worlds of anti-Dak and Dak. 4,800, 45 tugs, and 6 to 9 picks. Sure, would love to see that from Juan. That was on his last contract. Now Dak is getting older, and he said he wanted a longer contract. My guess is he wanted 5, but JJ probably wanted 3 max. See, that, that Forever DC, that does make sense, and I can get behind that. I really can. But once again, the whole point, and that's a great, thank you for leading me to this, so I can put a bow on this. That's why I knew almost done. Because if it's only the years that are left, if that's the last thing that they can't agree upon, the guarantees are the hardest part to come to terms on. Total guarantees. $231 million in this case. So if it was only a matter of 4 years versus 5 or 3 years versus 4, it's a wrap. The organization caves every time, like they just did this morning, like they did with Dak after they franchise tagged him for the second time and he proved himself again. Like they did with Zeke when he went and hit out in Cabo. Like they did with CD when he held out this year. Like they did with Zach Martin when he held out at camp last year. It's not hard, guys. It's not hard. I'm happy this deal is done and figure things out down the line with this roster. Yeah, and that's the thing. Look, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, this is going to be a discount, y'all. Just wait for it. Lamar Jackson was the highest paid NFL quarterback, or highest paid player in league history last year. $52.5 million. Now there are 8 guys that make more than he does, just a year ago. So 2 years from now, this is going to be a discount. It's not hard. Didn't help that Shedeur pooped the bed. Okay, let's talk about Shedeur. Or in my words, the silliest storyline in sports right now. Even if you could guarantee me, or guarantee yourself, or whoever, that Shedeur Sanders was the answer for this franchise, if you could guarantee me that in 1 to 2 years, he would be a better player than Dak in the league, how are you going to get up there to draft him? What's your plan? If he's really this can't-miss player that everybody seems to think that he is, I'm not saying he's not, but what I am saying is that we don't know. And it's not that we don't know about him, it's that the league doesn't know about quarterbacks. 31% dating back to 2014 of quarterbacks that are drafted in the first round that make it to their second contract, that receive a contract extension from the team that drafted them. First round players. That doesn't include the entire scope, broad scope of the entire draft, rounds 1 through 7. If they're that bad in round 1, how bad are they rounds 2 through 7? Y'all love to talk about Brock Purdy and how it's best to find a guy in the draft late on a rookie deal and then build around him. But guess what? If it was that easy, everybody would do it. And also, guess what? Just like I said earlier, he ain't going to be cheap forever. And you watch when at some point in the next calendar year, Brock Purdy is the highest paid player in NFL history. Exceptions aren't the rules. It's true for Patrick Mahomes. It's true for Brock Purdy's. Yeah, it's just take some time, sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and do the due diligence necessary to understand what's really happening here. Understand team building. And if you can't, then listen to somebody who will. And once again, you're in the right place. It's time, Lando. Yes, and that's another thing, man. Psychology. Great point, them boys all day. You want your team to feel as if their leader is being treated the way that he deserves to be treated from the franchise. You don't want this looming question, right? And hey, once again, too, that's another thing. Jerry Jones, the master marketer, the master salesman, at it again, stealing the show, right? This is really like, yes, the NFL season has already started. It's already underway. We're already a couple games in to week one. But week one NFL Sunday is the true, that's the show, right? And guess who stole it? Jerry freaking Jones, man. Oh, man. King Nizzy says, what's up, Lando? Just tapping in. Now Dak has to go hit the field today and ball. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for it, brother. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. Well, that's the thing, too, is Forever DC. That could be, but the thing is that I was trying to get people to understand. Everybody was saying, Cowboys, sign Dak, sign Dak. What are you waiting for? Sign Dak. It wasn't up to them. I told y'all a month and a half ago, Dak was holding Jerry and Steven by the proverbial crotch. Like this. I got you. I hold the cards. I have all the leverage. I don't have to pick up the pen and sign whatever you give me. If I don't want to be here, it's on me. It's not on you. I have a no trade clause, which, by the way, doesn't mean he can't be traded. Those of you that were in my mentions that were wrong about that, too. No tag clause. 1 year left on his deal. He's a free agent on March 12th, 2025. If you don't give me 60, somebody else will. And there'll be anywhere between 5 to 10 teams absolutely salivating for his services. Because stability at the most important position in all of sports. A guy that's seen enough football. He cannot be fooled at the line of scrimmage. He'll roll the protections. He'll have the cover. He'll have a lot of the tells, the pre-snap tells, diagnosed. He'll get his guys in the right position, and he's going to get the ball where it needs to be. You can't fool a guy that's seen the amount of football that Dak has seen. That's what Peyton Manning was telling you. That's what Aaron Rodgers was telling you. That's what Bill Belichick is telling you. And that's what I'm telling you. That's what Voch Lombardi tells you. That's what Skywalker Steele tells you. That's what Patrick Nosey Walker tells you. That's what your guy Nix tells you. That's what Law Nation tells you. That's what Boss Cowboy Sports tells you. That's what CFO tells you. My guy Jay Tuck. That's what Cowboys Fan Talk tells you. You ever just sat back and thought for a second? All those people that I just named with minimum 50,000 people following platforms? Minimum. You think that there's a little bit of something that people respect and understand about what they do? It's not a fluke. They do the work. And people appreciate it. But even those 50,000 followings, closer to 100,000 on one platform, I'm talking cumulative, but closer to 100 for guys like Vach, who's going to reach that milestone very soon. Law Nation, who's already got it. That's still, those 100,000s of people pale in comparison to Cowboys Nation. And the problem is that I'm speculating. I don't know the exact percentage, but it feels as if it's at least 70% of Cowboys Nation who can't seem to turn off fake take television. They're so misguided, so misinformed. It doesn't. Anyway, I digress. Is Dak perfect? No. Is he at fault for some of the way that things go down in the postseason? Yes. Can he be better? Yes. But the biggest difference that people fail to mention when they acknowledge that he's a fantastic MVP caliber quarterback in the regular season, but he sucks in the postseason. A couple massive things in the equation that people forget. In the ultimate team sport. Can you run the football? Can you stop the run? Last year, and for the previous 3 playoff losses for the Cowboys, Green Bay, San Fran, 3 years in a row, the answer is no. 3.2 yards per carry, each of the Cowboys combined in the Cowboys' last 3 playoff losses. That's almost about a full yard shorter than what most people would argue or admit is a quality average. 4.2 really is kind of where you want to be. If you're in the 4.5 range, you're doing something. 3.2, y'all. Coaching comes into play. Once again, ultimate team sport. Dan Quinn entrenching the best player on the field to one side on the line of scrimmage where he's not very elite in stopping the run. Like, perfect segue for today, for this afternoon. Myles Garrett versus Micah Parsons, who's better? The answer is easy. It's Myles Garrett. And that might sound like a hot take. Some of y'all may hate to hear that. But it's true. Micah's the better pass rusher. The numbers would line up with that, right? But why do I think that Myles Garrett's the better player? And why did he win the Defensive Player of the Year last year? Despite Micah having better pass rush specific numbers, the double team rate, Micah's in his own quadrant. The pass rush win rate versus double teams, Micah's in his own quadrant. Myles Garrett ain't holding his jock there. But the difference, and why I would favor Myles Garrett marginally, and why the league would favor Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, the guy that won it, right? It's because of what he does in the run game. Run game demon. And that's just not Micah Parsons' skill set. And that's okay, right? Which is why I love Mike Zimmer, man. Told y'all, been telling y'all this for a long time. He's the chess piece, the ultimate chess piece. He's not the ultimate entrenched at one side of the line of scrimmage. The two superpowers are rushing the passer and pursuing the ball carrier from the middle of the field. When you put them on the line of scrimmage at one side, and teams that have the ability and are willing to go heavy personnel, condense the formation, chip, all kinds of things, throwing a ton of different stuff. Micah Parsons just taking shoulders and elbows and helmets into his rib cage all day, getting double teamed. Still winning, but when you do that, you eliminate one of his two superpowers. Pursuing from the second level, where he's unimpeded. Levels to this, y'all. I've done the work on that too. Just Google me. Blake, what's up, B-Cock? What's he saying? Some of my childhood best friends right there. Love this dude. He's doing great things as a coach and as a leader and as a mentor for college basketball players. Keep doing what you do, Blake. Love you, brother. I hope the contract negotiations pull some weight off his shoulders and he can go to work. To be determined to see if this is worth it while... To be determined to see if this is worth it, if he performs consistently in the playoffs over the next 5. Sure, agreed. That's fair, Blake. That's fair. To be determined. You're exactly right. We'll see. But that's the thing, is you have to keep the guy around long enough to see. And yes, I know y'all are going to say 8 years, still hadn't done it. Look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning had, what, 22 interceptions his first year? 27 interceptions his first year in the league, something like that? And I haven't eaten or anything like that, so I haven't gotten a sweat in this morning, so I feel like I'm not thinking as clearly as I want to be. But there's countless other examples of quarterbacks. Like I've always said, that's one of the few positions in sports where you literally continue to improve with age. It's because of the processability. Everything starts right here. And that's why I think people are slightly misinformed when they say that, well, it's been 8 years, it's not going to happen. Couldn't disagree more. Because everything that's happening in front of you gets slowed down right here. It's why players like Tom Brady can still be successful at 45 years old. It's why Aaron Rodgers can still be an AFC championship favorite at 40 years old. You keep getting better at that position right here. Let me get this off the screen. And I'm gonna go. Sissy, come out here, baby. Come see me. I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Could not be more excited for what's to come, because I really do think that people are going to come around on Dak. You got the most important position in all sports solidified. You got stability there. You have a fantastic leader, a Walter Payton Man of the Year caliber candidate in your locker room, being the leader of your team. Come here, baby. You got your game day shirt on.
What are you talking?
4 years. $240 million. It's really 5 years, $280, $56 million per year, APY. Right where the market says it should be. The highest paid player in NFL history.
Daddy, I got gum.
Dak Prescott, you got gum?
Yeah.
Hey, can you say, peace out, dudes?
We talk.
This is all my friends. This is my football friends.
I see.
You want to see them? Look, you're right there. I'm going to make it bigger for you. See? That's you. They're shaking. It's kind of hard because the sun's back there, huh? See? You got your game day shirt on? Show them what you got. Say, go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
All right. Say, peace out, dudes.
Peace out, dude.
We going to go to the park?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Soon.
All right, we're going to go to the park. Remember, prayer changes things. Let go and let God. The war is already won. Talk to you guys soon. Yep. No editing.